joining us. Today we're going to discuss how to prepare your business for the holiday shopping season. My name is Megan Walsh. I'm the corporate trainer here at Quantum Electronic Payments. And with us today is our very own solutions manager, Befeal Garcia, who's going to share his insights on how to make your business thrive through the holidays. So welcome, Befeal.
Hi, Megan. Pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, so the biggest concern most merchants have this year is how to deal with supply shortages. What advice do you have for businesses to help make sure they have what they need in order to meet these increased holiday demands?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. So with the changing landscape that COVID-19 caused for a lot of things, right? I think gone are the days for small to medium business owners to walk into, another big retailer and purchase some of their inventory from day to week or from day to day and from week to week, right? It's something where they need to go ahead and plan a little bit further in advance now. So my suggestion would be to start looking at something like an actual cash advance or a business loan. I know, as business owners or even just, personally speaking, we all usually try to stay away from those terms, cash advance. But I think in this case, it would be an excellent thing for them to do, right? Because when they're trying to get inventory and you're trying to walk in and buy 15 of these, 20 of these, right? It might not be as easy to get that done anymore with wholesalers, where if you walk in and say, hey, I want to buy 100 of these, I want to buy 200 of these, right? So the extra capital is definitely going to go, a long way for them. And here at Quantum, we offer that service because we understand that at times like this, business owners need that extra capital to go ahead and deal with those inventory shortages. So something to definitely, I think about for business owners.
Very nice. Great advice. Now let's talk about actually accepting payments. Businesses like to get paid. So what should businesses be looking at in terms of payment acceptance?
That's an excellent question, right? I think as business owners and as individuals, we all definitely like to get paid. So super, super important for a business to look at. So, I think historically speaking, here in the United States, adaptation of new payment acceptance technology has been a little bit on the slower side. We're all used to walking into those big box retailers and they have the latest and greatest, right? And I think recently the latest and greatest is going to be contactless payments, right? Gone are the days of you carry around all these credit cards in your phone or in your wallet or in your purse or whatever it might be, right? You can easily have that all on your phone. So small to medium business owners taking advantage of the fact that this last year and a half accelerated our adaptation as consumers to those contactless types of payments, I think is something that they can definitely look at, right? So historically speaking, it's one of those things where if your credit card machine is working, you're like, great, I'm taking payments, I'm getting paid, we're good to go. But I think some business owners need to take it a little step further and making sure that they're adapting with everybody else. So looking at those contactless payments for Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, whatever it might be, I think would definitely be good for them so that they can have a better checkout experience for the actual customer.
Very helpful. So since we're talking about technical matters, let me ask you this. Aside from the device accepting the payment, are there any other technical items they need to keep in mind?
Definitely. I think when you ask that question, one thing comes to mind. If it ain't broken, why fix it? Right? And I think we all take that, I know I do, a little too hard sometimes. And I think looking at your network topography for a business is going to be super important, right? And by that we mean, how do you actually get internet to your business, right? Is your router up to date, right? Do you have good Ethernet cables? If you have Wi-Fi extenders, are they all working and are you maximizing your space, right? And I think that does two things. One, as consumers, we're used to walking into a lot of businesses and going like, oh, great, you got free Wi-Fi? Let me go ahead and go on that, right? So it can be enticing for the consumer to actually go into your place of business and purchase from you. Secondly, let's be real. I think internet is the lifeline for a lot of things nowadays, right?
It is.
I know for me, if I'm at home and I'm watching a show and for whatever reason I'm having problems with my internet, I'm going like, okay, why is my internet down?
Yeah.
Now, imagine being a business owner instead, and all of a sudden, your POS is down, right? Your terminal is down. Now you can't take payments, and you've been, all of a sudden, like this, turned into a cash-only business.
Right.
And with, again, the changing landscape over the last year and a half, where everybody's relying on credit card payments or contactless payments, that can be a really tough situation for a business to go ahead and deal with their internet service provider to get their internet up. So definitely network topography is something that is often overlooked, but suggest for business owners to take a look at that.
I love it. Those are really good insights. Now, let's move on to some more practical aspects of selling. What are some important day-to-day items that sometimes get overlooked, and what are your suggestions to taking care of all that?
Sure. So I think some essential items day-to-day, right, typical to or very similar to the network topography would be items like your credit card machine, right? Is it up to date? One, if it goes down, what backup plan do you have to go ahead and keep accepting those payments, right? So talking to your processor about, hey, how can I keep going with payments if something happens? Now, let's say ideal scenario, nothing's going wrong, you're good to go, you're processing transactions, but during the holiday season, transaction count goes up quite a bit. So things like, as mundane as it sounds, receipt paper, right?
Yeah.
You normally plan for, hey, you know what, I go through X amount of rolls per month, I'm gonna be totally okay. So you look at your stock and you say, all right, I'm good to go. So let's say now you're going through the holiday season, you're hopefully seeing an uptick of transactions, now you're out of receipt paper. So now you're having to take somebody off the floor, or you as the owner are having to run over somewhere, get the correct receipt paper. Somebody might not have the receipt paper that you need, so now you're making multiple stops, right? It's a small item, but I think it goes a long way in terms of just stocking up on that, right? Even things like bags. If you're selling some specialty items that you normally don't carry, you might need a bigger bag for, planning for those types of instances, right? You might be excited to really sell this item, but how's the customer going to leave with it, right? If you're offering some type of gift wrapping service, making sure that if you are marketing that to your actual customers as a service, you have enough inventory to go ahead and actually help them with that service.
Very nice. All really good advice. Now, I remember from last holiday season, sometimes we forget to prepare for the humans involved in holiday sales. So what advice can you give businesses in terms of human resources?
Yeah, that's an excellent point, right? I think we all get caught up with, do I have enough on the shelves? Do I have enough product to make my food? But sometimes we forget the human element.
Yeah.
And with the, again, very changing landscape, a lot of business owners are facing a hire shortage. They're not able to find employees, right? So if a business is on a older register, it might be time to go ahead and upgrade to an actual POS system, right? That's gonna give them a couple of added values. One is definitely gonna be inventory. They no longer need somebody out on the floor where they're gonna be counting all the objects, on the shelves or whatever it might be. It'll be one simple report that they run. Two will be timekeeping. A lot of these POS systems now do timekeeping. They do loyalty programs, they do gift cards, right?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, one, helping your employees and creating some efficiencies at your business, and then also with some of those other incentives like loyalty programs and gift cards, getting your customers to come back in. Now, on the flip side is the customer experience, right? So as a customer or as a business owner, it makes sense to have your cash registers at the entrance and exit, right? Now, let's say you're a smaller to medium business and you only have the one entrance. If you have a long line of people checking out, and for me as a customer, I'm trying to walk in, all I see is, wow, there's a really long line to check out. This store is too busy. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. So for the holiday season, if possible, maybe modifying a little bit of what's happening so that you can control the actual customer flow a little
Yeah.
bit so that you don't encounter these areas of high density with customers in them. So it's just a better overall shopping experience and a little bit more relaxed.
Those ideas should help out a lot. Now, here's my last question for you. In your opinion, what is the most important aspect of a good customer checkout experience during the holidays?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think as a processor, what we think about is, okay, how are we going to get this transaction done? And I think as business owners, that's something that they think about also. Something that gets lost very often is going to be store policies, right? So what do we do if somebody comes in with a request for a refund? What do we do if somebody walks in with a request for an exchange? So sitting down with your employees and giving them refreshers on what those store policies look like, one. Two, because it's the holiday season and there's a lot of purchases, which means a lot of returns and a lot of exchanges, is there going to be some type of leniency on these policies? I think giving your frontline workers, the information and the empowerment to make some of these decisions will go a long way with one, your employees, and then two, also the customers, right? Because for me as a customer, if I have a problem, I don't want to stand there and wait for somebody to go grab the supervisor or go grab the manager who might be dealing with a whole other situation. So now we're talking, I'm standing there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, waiting for somebody to come help me. So again, that refresher of policies and just empowering your frontline workers to make some of those decisions, I think will create a lot of efficiencies, will help with the human resources in terms of the business, and just overall can create a very positive experience for the customer where they say, hey, you know what, I had a problem, but they really took care of me. I'm going to make sure I bring my business back to them.
I love it. Thank you so much, Befeal, for joining us today. And let me wish you and everyone who's watching a very happy and prosperous holiday season from all of us here at Quantum Electronic Payments.